Hello, I'm Dr. Chuck Stowe. Welcome to this presentation on time management. We're going to explore a system to help you better manage your time. A system that's based on psychological studies in which we learned that the brain loves order. It's interesting because the brain gets stressed with either sensory deprivation, like being in an isolated cell, and that creates boredom, or sensory overflow, where just the opposite case is going on. This is a system that's based on understanding your core values, your goals, and your time commitments, and getting them to align with each other so that they're consistent. Let's start with our core values. We know from studies that these may change over time, and that if we really want to affect a person's behavior, we start with their core values. That's why in the military, when you go to boot camp, the first thing you learn are the core values of the particular service you're joining. Let's stop for a moment and list and define your top 4 core values. Now, there may be a spiritual dimension, family dimension, a work dimension, but all of us express our goals differently, so take a moment and list your top 4. Then the next strategy is to ask, well, what are our goals for the semester? We want to be sure that they're measurable and that they can be accomplished in one semester. Don't put down too many, because that's going to cause stress from being overloaded. Again, when we talk about goals, it's very important that these be measurable. Take a look at this list and you'll see how we've rephrased each one of these to have a clearly definable, measurable outcome, so we can see exactly whether or not we've accomplished our goals. Question. Do you see the difference between having vague goals like have a good social life or do well in school versus very specific benchmark goals? That's very important because the brain likes order and it wants to know exactly what you're expecting of it. Now for the priority, we've got to rank those goals in order. Now mind you, we probably got so many that the last 2 may not be achievable in one semester's time, and we've got to be prepared to accept that. We don't want to set our expectations unreasonably high or disappointingly low, or we'll never reach our potential. Now I want you to get a calendar. Actually, I'll give you one, and we're going to fill it out hour by hour to get some idea of our time commitments. Now, when we're completed with that, let's rethink. Did we do this correctly? Did we allocate 1 to 3 hours of study time for every hour we were in class? Did we give ourselves 8 hours of sleep each night so we can maintain a good state of health? Did we give ourselves at least an hour a day of meditation time to unwind? And you see the rest of the list. So take a look and add up the hours. Uh-oh. I bet you found that you may have scheduled yourself for more than 168 hours, which is 7 times 24. Oops. Let's try again. We need to all take a reality check. You know, I've done this in class, and I found that 80% of college students have literally overcommitted themselves. And what suffers? Well, it's no time for homework, no time for a good social life, no time for meditation or physical exercise. But worse yet, the whole reason you're in college, I think, is to help you ultimately get a good job. Well, if you're not taking time to explore new opportunities and learn about what types of jobs there are and the different industries and the different job functions, then you may be spending your time and your money in a way that minimizes your actual return on your investment in education. So the question is, can you bring your values, your goals, and your time commitments into alignment? Are your goals related to your core values? Does your time commitment support the achievement of your goals? And of course, are you overcommitted? The result of that is that you're going to create tension, stress, and further reduce the benefit of going to college. You know, college is about developing a sense of who you are and preparing yourself to learn about the real world and how and what role you're going to play in it when you graduate. Here's a question for you. When you rush to finish a degree that you think you're saving tuition because you're rushing through, does that make sense if you're going to end up being unemployed? Let me propose that the next step is to define your top 3 priorities. Trim your commitments that don't support those priorities and trim your expenses so that you won't have to work so hard at work or pile up the debt. I know this sounds unreasonable, but you know, university courses are designed for 3 hours of homework minimum for every hour in class. Now, be careful. Don't push to take 15 hours of courses when you work 30 hours or more, because you're just headed to being overcommitted and stressed out. You'll miss out on school activities. You'll miss out on the opportunity to network and meet people. You'll miss out on opportunities for self-discovery. Let's instead realign ourselves so that our goals, our priorities, and our allocation of time makes sense. And make sure you put in time for contingencies. So if you have a wonderful social opportunity, or you're invited for an interview, you have the time to tend to it. And also make sure you have some time for some physical exercise. It's good for you both physically but mentally as well. And then let's talk about our career realities. Finding a job actually begins sophomore year, not after you've graduated. I invite you, I urge you to join the Lander Professional Business Society and meet other business students. Go to the activities that are designed to help you discover what jobs and industries you might be interested in. You know, our internal radar works so much better if we're relaxed and curious and inquisitive. I hope you're going to use Microsoft Outlook or your cell phone to build up a huge contact list. I'm certainly going to give you that opportunity in this class. The opportunity to meet other people, get their phone numbers, and learn a little bit about them. I want you to go to the job fairs and treat it like a dating event. Ask yourself, would I want to spend 8 hours a day with this particular person? If not, then you need to think twice about that job function and that type of industry. I want you to use advanced courses as an excuse to talk to real people in the real world and see how they like what they do and what they do. Time management, therefore, is the reconciliation of your life's priorities with the opportunity to enjoy the moment. You know, the greatest joy in the world is pursuing goals. Now, let me remind you that your diploma is merely a receipt. The value of your diploma is not the piece of paper. It's the intellectual toolkit you build, including the ability to learn more efficiently and productively. That's the key to your future and success. Did this help? Please let me know. Did this PowerPoint cause you to rethink your commitments and your priorities and your activities and your schedule and your spending? I hope so. Please let me know how I can improve this PowerPoint. Thanks for taking this course, and again, welcome back to Lander. And for you new students, welcome aboard.